I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
It's a hard question to answer, and I think it's different for every individual, but I mean, students are going to have an eye toward the future, looking at their goals and their prospects and that kind of thing. And I find that usually with people, the younger you are, the more you're looking to the future, because on the timeline of your life, that you have more space ostensibly there than in the past. And as you get older, it seems like you end up looking more into the past because there's less future and more past behind you. And so it's this weird thing that happens with people, that they tend to go from living in the future to then living a lot of their life looking in the past or looking behind them. And so many of us fail to look in the present moment. That, for us, that's really hard. Yeah, probably. Especially in a school like Chavez, where everything is about high performance as a preparation for the good life to come. And I think a lot of our students are motivated. And I see it a lot with students. I mean, and this is maybe just the way it is everywhere to be expected, but students are often more motivated by the grade that they receive, because it looks good on a transcript, because they're applying for colleges or whatever else is coming in the future. What I really love to see are students who are motivated in the present, because they're motivated by ideas or by intellectual curiosity or engagement in social and political issues, that kind of stuff. And there's definitely that too. But for me, that's kind of a good litmus test, where, what is your motivation? And if it's about grades or accolades on a resume or that kind of thing, then yeah, you're probably looking a little too far into the future about what's to come, and you're kind of missing the present moment. Whereas those students who tend to care less about, not that you don't want to care about your grades, but they seem to care more about the ideas or exploring what they're passionate about now, I think that's a good sign.
My woman brought children for me, so I can sing them all my songs and I can tell them stories.
If I'm remembering my 17, 18-year-old self well, I think I was largely focused on the future. Again, because I think I was motivated more by grades and by resume, how it would look to colleges or scholarships. And I don't remember being as passionate about learning. That started to happen in college. And consequently, and I made decent grades in college, but I was less motivated by the actual grade that I received. It's just like falling in love with learning and ideas. And was able to, and I think it kind of was wrapped up in that I learned to live more in the present moment too. Now still I was looking like past college and like, what am I going to do in life as a real job? But I started to learn there a little bit better. And I wish I could tell my younger self to try to live more in the present. Don't be so enamored with / afraid of that future, that unknown future. Yeah, I think so. Going back to that first question, it's a balance. And you can't tell everyone exactly where all of you should be in this balance, but it's a matter of yes, having aspirations and goals and hopes for the future, but not so much that you're. And here's another litmus test, I think. You hear stories all the time about people who have grown up and become adults, and they've reached a certain place, and they say that I've had this goal ever since I was 12 years old. And they've stuck faithfully to this thing, which in one regard seems really admirable. Wow, that's impressive. You had a goal and you stuck with it. And that can work, I think. But I'm afraid sometimes people remain so adamantly stuck to some plan that they don't allow themselves to change as an individual. So I would say to students, like, yes, have goals and aspirations and hopes, but in the process of getting there, allow yourself to change and realize that you're going to change. And that's, for me, to look back at my 17-year-old self, yeah, there's a lot that's similar, but man, I'm a lot different too. I have to joke around and say that if my 17-year-old self could see me now, you know, who's a high school English teacher, drives a Honda Civic, lives in a duplex, wifeless and childless, and it's just like, oh man, my life is a failure. I think that would be the temptation, and sometimes even now, like my 36-year-old self says, your life is a beautiful thing, because I had all kinds of different goals and aspirations. And I think if I had remained faithful to that conception of myself, I'd be miserable.
Yeah.
I think. Because I've changed as a person and it doesn't fit me. I don't know that a Honda Civic fits me either, but more so in my life, whenever I can stop and pause and think, and I don't let that fantasy ideal overwhelm me, and I realize that no, my reality is really good. My present is good, and I'm in a good place, and I have my life has a lot of purpose and meaning. And I have really solid friends and family. And it's good. And it might be that kind of messy collision of these parents who, like I say, when you get older, you start looking back at your past, and it's not this alluring and scary unknowable like the future is. It's more like this: I know it, and I have regrets about it. And I think sometimes the parents, they recognize the regrets of their own life, and in trying to prevent their own children from having those same regrets, they then try to mold this future that is regretless, you know, which I think can get messy.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get stuck in the future because we're so self-absorbed, and it's about my future and what my life's going to look like, this kind of thing. And one thing that can draw us back into the present and living here is looking out for others around us and seeing who has needs and how can I help them. And yeah, like you say, like being concerned with leaving a legacy that makes a difference in the world, large and small. Not everyone's going to go and make a huge mark on the world. I don't think we have to. I think that, going back to being a teacher, one of the great things about that is I've got that whole drawer behind you is full of cards and letters and notes that students have written me over the years. And in some ways it's like, oh, my legacy's in a drawer. It's kind of sad. But at the same time, like, I'll talk to friends of mine who work in the corporate world or who work, you know, in real estate or all these kind of things. You know, they don't have a drawer like that. They don't have this legacy drawer. They have a harder time realizing the impact or the fruits of their labor or their purpose and meaning in life. And yeah, when I'm being selfish, that's when I tend to want to beat myself up over having a life that doesn't look very glamorous or very meaningful. But when I'm more concerned with how I'm helping those around me, namely my students, that's when I feel like I'm living more in the present moment and I'm in a healthier mindset.
I certainly need some assistance. I'm sorry to call you in such a frenzy, but I'm very shook up. I got my American Express card stolen.
Okay. Can I have your last name, please?
Yes,
What's your last name?
right.
Okay. Can you give me your name so I can look up your account?
Yes, Helen.
What's your last name, please?
Esafon.
What?
Helen. Esafon. E-A-S-A-Fon. Hi, I have no legs. May I speak to the manager? Now, if I get a bill and it's something like for
back to my roots. Another day, another door, another high, another low. Rock bottom, rock bottom, rock bottom. I'm going back to my roots. Another day, another door, another high, another low. Rock bottom, rock bottom, rock bottom. I'm going back to my roots. And though it's gotta go like this, I know hell will always come before you grow. Trouble found me, trouble found me. And though it's gotta go like this, I know hell will always come before you grow. Trouble found me, trouble found me.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.